What's good, creative people? Everybody, Jones here from RBJ Creative Studio, and today we're doing a tutorial on backgrounds. Okay, so shout outs to Artboss Creative Agency. Artboss Creative Agency. He's also into graphic designing. He's into church flyers and logos, anything about designs. So you can follow him on Instagram at Artboss Creative Agency, and actually he's the one who came up with the idea to do this tutorial on how to create solid backgrounds, how to create deep, thick, solid backgrounds. Okay, so here is our workspace. As usual, we bring in the rulers and make sure we are in at horizontal and vertical. Okay, so today's tutorial, I've been going over backgrounds over and over, but today I'm mainly here because we do backgrounds all the time, but this time around we want a background that is quite solid enough, very solid, like this artwork here. So I did this artwork for a client, and the background was very solid. I overlaid a texture with a gradient map. So the color, that's the reddish wine looking color at the background, is a gradient map that I overlaid on how do you call it, a texture. Yeah, so the texture was green and yellow, but then I added a bit of a Gaussian blur to the image, and I added the gradient map. So for the type of road effect here was an image. The artwork is the Kumasi Accra show. So the previous artwork I used the Kumasi. There was this statue in the artwork, but this time around I used circle, that's Accra circle, in the artwork. So it was just as simple as dropping in the texture and adding the detail up here. So we are going to look at this same type of background, how to get this same type of background. Let me separate the background from the work so you get to see how solid the background is. Let me separate it real quick. Yeah, so here's the background, very solid. It will work with white text, it will work with yellow text, it will work with any kind of text. And one thing that you can also do is you can change the colors, tune them. I went with 3 colors: black, the type of reddish wine color, and black. So if I change the middle color right now, it will just change straight up to any color. Yeah, this is how it works. So I've been using gradient maps for a long time. If you've been following me on my channel, you know that gradient maps is something I'm always using. I've been doing it over and over, and I love it. Okay, so let's start with how to get a solid background. So there's this other way you can achieve the type of effect you want. You can overlay a rectangle on the background, just like this. Then you select any color you want. I'll go for deep blue. Yeah, just like this, very plain, very raw. Then you would have to go download a texture, something like let me drop in a texture so you get to see something like this texture. You see, it's a texture. It has this type of, I don't know how to put it, displacement effects in it, and it's very cool. You can actually use this for the design, but we are looking at how to get different types of colors in the background. So the blue that I used in, that is this blue, is kind of like, you can change it to red or green or any color that you want anytime. So let's bring in the texture. So the texture comes in, it passes through camera raw first, because that's what I have done. So it passes through camera raw first. Forgive me, my machine sometimes irritates me. Okay, so you hit on enter, it opens the texture, you scale it up to fill the whole artwork. Nice. Then after hitting enter, you can simply set the texturized image to overlay. Now look at this, we've set it to overlay. Let's go change the rectangle under the texture and see. Now look at this, you see how this is working. We have the texture. Damn dogs, come on at this time. Okay, pay no attention to the dogs. Yeah, they tend to make noise at this time. So whenever you change to any color, this is what you get the texture from the image we inserted coming in. But then there's a problem here. You see, when I chose the color red, we didn't get the effect coming through. The main reason why the effect didn't come through was because the red that I chose was quite light, and red is a type of color that really, if you want it to work, you'd have to overlay the rectangle on the texture rather. Yeah, that is how it works. So you'd have to choose red, then here, then you set the blend mode of the rectangle to color. No, not color. No. I think I'm getting this wrong. I'm really getting this wrong. Yes, come on. So there was a mistake here. The texture I've already set it to overlay, that's why I wasn't getting the effect. So I have to put it back to normal, then I'll select the rectangle again, then go to color. Yes, just like that. Yeah, it was a mistake. The texturized image was at overlay, that's why. Okay, so for this one, the red works perfectly. It shows in the image, it shows the texture, it shows everything working. You can even change it to the deep blue, and it also works for that. You can change it to green, it also works for that. It's all about how you'd want it to be. It's like a personal preference. If I'm to overlay the rectangle on the texture, I'd have to set the texture to normal and set the overlay, that's the rectangle, to color. But if I'm to overlay the texture rather on the rectangle, I'd have to set the rectangle to normal and set the texture to overlay. But then it's not going to work for red, as we already know, but for other colors it will work, especially green. Yeah, so there's this other thing that you might want to consider that is very, very cool, and that is how do you call it, the gradient map. Of course, the gradient map kind of gives you, like, you're not going to get just one type of color. You get series of colors in a gradient form, and it gives you such nice vibes. I mean, you get, I don't know how to put it. Let me just get something through. Okay, so I've turned off the rectangle because you don't need it right now. So I'll come down to the options down here and select gradient map. So they will give me this default or something. You just click on the gradient here, choose whichever you want, then you can start customizing. So instead of making this blue, I'll make it very deep blue, somewhere around here. It's like a blue black type of color. Then I'll create another color in the middle, just like this. Then I'll switch the end color, that's the right end, to very deep blue, like a blue black type of color. Then we're going to have only the yellow in the middle. So you can toggle, you can go back, it depends on how you want it to be. So let's say if I change the yellow here, so let's say light blue, this is what I get. If I change it to green, this is what I get. Like, gradient map is perfect. It's very nice, it's cool, it's everything. So let me go for this color and hit on okay. So we are going to bring in like a detail or something. So let's say I'm working on a church flyer and they want me to throw in a line. Let me bring a line in real quick. I have a line here, so I bring in the line, hit on enter so it opens, scale it up a little bit. So there's this thing that you have to know. If you're bringing in a detail to a background, we don't want the edges, so you'd have to rasterize, and the shortcut for rasterizing is you select the eraser, then you click on the image. It will give you this smart object must be rasterized, blah 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 blah. Then you hit on OK. Then you can scale the eraser up as you want. Then you start cleaning the edges. So I'll clean on the right side, clean on the lower part, clean on the left part, clean on the upper part too. Yes, nice. Then we scale it up a little bit just to fit in there. There's this other way of feathering. You can feather the edges of the image by opening the eraser very wide. Let's see, this wide. So if you open it this wide and you clean at the edge, it feathers way good than the first one that I did. But we really want to get the detail, the clouds, the line and everything. That's why I couldn't go closer to it. So after erasing the edges, you'd have to set the blend mode. Look, one thing that you guys have to know, blend mode is your friend. Blend mode is your brother, your sister, your everything. Blend mode is what keeps me going. Blend mode, bro. Okay, so normal, you set the blend mode to overlay real quick. This is what you get. You don't want it, then you move on to the next thing, or you can hit on normal, then you start using the arrows to go through. So normal, dissolve, darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn, darken, darker color, lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge, lighter color, overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid light, linear light, pen light. We are looking for this perfect one. When we get it, you guys will see it. Pen light, hard mix, difference, exclusion, subtract, divide, hue, saturation, color, luminosity. So it's luminosity. We'll have to reduce the opacity for the image. Here we go. So just like this, we have the detail of the line in it, but then it's looking a bit pale, so I'll just hit on Control M for my for my curve. Come on, Control M. I don't know, let's go for levels instead. I'm sure levels will come. Okay, so you kind of toggle it a little bit, or you can even open let me cancel this. You can open the image in camera raw, then you go to filter, then you move to camera raw. You can edit it a bit there, so that you get it as you want it to be. Yeah, you get it very solid, something like that. So here's our camera raw. Okay, so I'd want more contrast. I'll just shift the contrast forward, a little bit of exposure, highlights going down, whites coming down, shadows going up a little bit, then probably clarity, and then texture. We're good to go. So I just hit OK, then it will update on the image. So let's wait for it to update, and we'll get to see the kind of effect that we got. Yeah, so blend mode is your friend. Blend mode should be your everything. You don't leave the blend mode out of your works. Nice. So this is what we got, and it's looking pretty good. So aside this image, you can use any other image. Let me import the Accra circle image into this guy. So if you want to take an element, no, not an element, if you want to take like an image or a text or a layer from one artwork to another, you just right click on the layer, move to duplicate layer. We have as insert copy. We want the name to be like that. Then you hit on the document. So we want to send the image to untitled 2. Just hit on it, then okay. So we'll move to the image, and yeah, that is it. So looking at what we have here, we're not getting the type of mix that we want it to be. You see, there's this type of bluish color here, there's this type of pinkish. I mean, it's because the blend mode had been set to multiply. Let's set it to overlay and see. This is overlay. We're not getting it well. Soft light. You just toggle through till you get what you want. Luminosity 2 is here, or you can take off the saturation from the image. Let me set it to normal. You see there is green whatever in the image. You can hit Ctrl U, take off or take out the color, then hit OK. Then we'll come back and set to multiply and see. Nice. You see there's no pink or whatever going around here. Okay, so guys, I don't know, for me, I won't settle for less. I won't go for like this is what I'm going to do, but I won't end here. Let me add a texture, last final texture. Let's place embedded. Go to my downloads. I have this kind of glitch image that I really like to use. It gives you this type of effect, like a scratch type of effect. I really like using it, and I'm not changing it anytime soon. So this is the image. I've been using it for a long time and I love using it. So we'll scale it up, make sure the reds are out because the reds are going to give us something different. Hit on enter, let it load. So after loading, as you all know, the blend mode, you don't leave the blend mode out of it, bro. You need the blend mode like you need air or water. Yes, so hit on the image, then you start going through. So normal, dissolve, darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn, darker color, lighting. Lighting is quite good. Screen is cool. You can reduce the opacity for screen and still get the effects going through. Yeah, so let's keep going. Screen, color dodge, linear dodge, lighter color. You see the effect is working in the soft light, hard light, vivid light, linear light, pen light, hard mix, difference, exclusion, subtract. Wow, subtract is kind of cool. Divide, hue, saturation, color, and luminosity. Is it luminosity? Luminosity 2 is quite cool. Forgive me guys, it's not that easy. It's really not easy. I'll go for screen and I'll lock it and we're good to go. We have some type of texture going in there and you can change the color to anytime you want. That's a bonus to this type of backgrounds that you create. So you just click on the pink here, choose like green, deep green, blue, red. You see, it's an advantage. I don't know how to put it, but you can change the color anytime you want. Yeah, so guys, here's the video for today. If you want to create a very solid background with details going through, for me, this is where I got to. You can do more, you can create endless whatever. I mean, it depends on how creative you're going to be. You can sit down, visualize what you want to do first before you can start designing, or you can just start doing it. You can just start opening Photoshop and start doing whatever you do best. And yeah, so guys, this will be it for today. Let me give you a sneak peek at something I was creating. So I was just adding some effects to this logo, just some small effects, and I know You will say, why did I do this in Photoshop? I'm kind of like a Photoshop freak, guys. I'm more into Photoshop more than Illustrator. So yeah, okay, so that'll be it for today, guys. Kindly subscribe to the channel, like the video, share, do whatever you have to do, and yeah, follow Artboss creative agency. He's my guy. Yeah, so guys, see you next time. Bye bye.